Hello and welcome to another beautiful episode of Softline. I am Nancy Banigo, and with me today I have Eddie Young. Eddie, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Nancy.
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good to have you on Tuesday's special show on Softline. Trust us. Like I always say, I keep telling this, and I'm not tired of saying it. We will always come your way with something very interesting, educative, informative, entertaining. Can you think about? So always be here for us. Thank you for always being there.
All right, Eddie. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's celebration on First Daughter's Day.
Did I?
Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't.
All right.
Did you?
Nothing special, actually. Nothing special. But I was one wishing people. I was just sending messages to the first daughters I knew, just to tell. Many of them that I sent messages, they didn't even know what it was all about.
Exactly. So that's why I couldn't enjoy it. So
Exactly.
Going forward, by next year, now that I know, I'll get prepared. And then I'll inform more people.
Yeah,
so that,
exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll get prepared for next year. All right. So yesterday, I saw some prices of goods in the market have really dropped, but I see people don't talk much about it. I remember when things were so expensive, like the yam, the tomato, the pepper. We were always here crying that this is too expensive. So when I went to the market today, I was able to buy a tuber of yam. I remember buying that size for about 8,000 naira. I got it for 3,000 naira.
Oh.
You see, so I felt it was nice to also come and say that things are getting better.
Okay.
I mean, it's only good or normal I come do this because I was also here saying how expensive things were.
Crying when
Exactly.
It was hard. So now that it's, I think you got conscience.
Yeah, exactly. So even with the plantain also was cheaper. So it's a good thing. So I don't know if you have noticed any drop in prices.
No, I haven't, because I haven't purchased anything of late. Yeah, not really. So
Okay.
But from your own testimony, then it's worth celebrating. It's worth thanking God for.
Okay, so now my question is, this is something that happens almost every year. Probably we've not been taking note of this. When it is a particular season, things become expensive, right? Like during the rainy season, some things become expensive. And some of these things, perishable goods that are being brought in from other states. So because of flood, the road is not so clear. So even the few ones that get into the state becomes expensive. So when people throw this, this banter of things being too expensive, nobody is talking about why they are expensive. They just blame it on the administration. They blame it on the federal government. I'm not preaching. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying me. This is what I observed, all right? Because I recently joined a group of women who bring in things from Jos. All right, so you go there, you buy these things, and then they bring. Yeah, exactly. And I discovered that when they are bringing this in, they sell to people here, and then these ones here sell in smaller bits. So sometimes they will come and tell you that the motor has spoiled, or our goods are spoiled and all that. So when these few ones get in, they become expensive. So, but we don't look at all these criteria, challenges. We just come out and say, things are expensive. So why are we like this?
Because we are humans.
Really?
We're humans, and we are not considerate. All we want is everything work in our favor. And once something is not in our favor, we don't seem to empathize or try to look at the causes, what has happened, the factors that have made it so, and then know if these factors are human factors or factors we should cry about, or actually see how we can also, what we can do to ameliorate or curb it happening a second time or something. Yeah, so that no, honestly, that's it.
Now we talk about this. I just wanted to bring this up so that we can really say these things. Like, well, some people still are greedy when it comes to things like this. Like somebody getting some plantain from their backyards, and instead of selling, cheap in the market, they just come and still put in high price.
Human factor, the greed factor.
So we need to start speaking to these human factors and not to, make it look as if it's we are not going anywhere. You know, they bring this fear into people when they say, the country has spoiled. We are not going anywhere.
When they say the country has spoiled, we are the one. We are the country.
It's so scary.
But actually, we are Nigerians, and we are the architect of our problems, whether we like it or not. I'm not ruling out the governance factor, economic factor, and all of that. But if I got someone said something was shared, you know, someone was asked to do something, and the person did it with an interest, and I think went down the line, the person giving it down, handing over down to the next person had to do it, get something to his or her favor, and it kept going, or the trend kept going. Nobody was sincere. Nobody was sincere. Like, you're giving 20x past 2AD, you're telling me, they gave me 15, you have kept 5, and then I take 15, you're asking me to pass it to someone, and I give 10 to the person. They said 10. That person doesn't know, you don't know, and the person that gave it to you doesn't know, and the trend goes just like that. So who in this case would you blame? I blame you, I blame myself, I blame everybody that is being involved. So we actually need to be proactive, we need to be sincere, we need to have integrity in whatever we do from an event. And you see, they say agriculture is the new gold. How many of us have gone into this? I took my mind back to the States, where the first Fridays and the third Fridays, third or last, was declared public holiday so that they could go farm. How many people actually, that was what kept ringing through my mind. How many people utilize these
opportunities?
Farming.
There are other things to do, they will say. All right, we have a long way to go, but we need to keep saying this, and we have to create this awareness. People have to know. Okay, we'll go on a very short break, and when we come back, we'll introduce our guests as well as our topics. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
No matter wetin I see, enough fit make mouth heavy to talk am. That's now why people dey talk.
You know wetin dey worry you, but you no go fit take help yourself.
In this kind of situation now, what if they really no talk to una? Wetin be the way forward?
They go bury our chairman on Thursday. We go remain here.
Make we talk good where we dey see good, and where we know say we no dey see good, make we also dey talk am.
No woman, no mother deserve to know the grave of his child.
The bank manager and the bank executive, they are the one the government should first face.
People They Talk, the show on Monday to Friday by 5 p.m. on top ADBN TV.
Welcome back and thanks for being there. So on today's special edition of Softline, we are shining the spotlight on the present health concern that are affecting our nation, Nigeria. The monkeypox outbreak has raised alarm bell, and it's essential we understand the risk, symptoms, and prevention strategies. So join us today as we delve into the world of monkeypox, separate fact from fiction, and explore ways to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe. Our expert guest is Dr. Promise Jacob, Senior Registrar, Department of Community Medicine, University of Uyo Teaching Hospital. He will share valuable insight and answer our question. Let's get informed, get aware, and let's take control of our health. All right, Doctor, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Doctor.
Thank you.
So when I heard this monkeypox, or we've seen monkeypox all around, we are so scared. Like, what exactly is monkeypox, and how is it being transmitted?
Okay, so when we talk about monkeypox, initially it's monkeypox, but currently WHO renamed it to Mpox.
Mpox, yeah.
Yeah, so you'll be hearing more of Mpox, and it's a re-emerging zoonotic viral disease caused by monkeypox virus. And this virus was first isolated in 1958 in Denmark, and it was first seen in, I think, a research lab where they were taking care of monkey. So they saw these pox-like features, diseases. So when they isolated, and he found that the monkeypox, but the first human incident was seen in 1970 in Democratic Republic of Congo. It was seen in a 9-month-old child, and also it started spreading. Then Nigeria recorded its own first case in 1971.
Okay.
So, and also there was also another case in 1978. Then after then there was no issue of monkeypox again. And the disease now re-emerged in 2017. So when it re-emerged in 2017, from 2017 till date, we've been having cases of monkeypox all over the country. And this monkeypox is mainly seen within the Central, East African, and then the West African region, mainly on the rainforest area. And then there are 2 strains of the monkeypox, the Mpox. So we have the Mpox, monkeypox virus strain 1B. That one is seen more in the Central and East African region. It's more severe. It gives the more severe illnesses. While we have the West African monkeypox, the virus strain, that's 1B. It has a mild symptom. That's unfortunately for us, that is what we have more in Nigeria and other West African country. So far monkeypox has been increasing both nationally and also in Akwa Ibom State. I think from the latest reports from NCDC shows that about, I think, 40 confirmed cases of monkeypox this year, and no death recorded so far. Okay. And also in Akwa Ibom, I think we had 4 cases. The last week that was reported this week, I think there's 1 confirmed case of monkeypox.
Wow.
How does it present?
Yeah, exactly. And how does it progress?
Okay.
The presentation, look at the signs and symptoms of monkeypox. The incubation period, what I mean by incubation period, is a point between when one was exposed to the virus to when the first symptoms appear. It's between 5 to 21 days. And it starts, there are 2 stages of it. We have the prodromal stage, which we will see that between 0 to 5 days of being exposed to it. And it comes with fever, headache, severe muscle pain, even weakness, lymph node swelling, and some other person you could also have sore throat and the rest. Then you also have the second stage, which is the rash stage, which starts between 1 to 3 days after fever. So it's 1 to 3 days after fever, and it starts with the rash from the head and spread to other parts of the body. And now this rash have a trend how it progresses. It starts from the maculopapular lesion, that is a rash flat lesion. Then they now move again. The next stage of the rash is a vesicular rash, where there are things like water vesicles inside. Then the third stage, it's the pus, like you see pus, like what you're seeing.
This is the progression, right? I want to understand that the first stage you said is a flat.
Yes, the flat.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Maculopapular rash. You just see a rash on the skin, and it is just flat.
Oh.
So the next one is raised, but it has to do, you see, it's to call it the vesicular stage, which there is fluid inside. Then after that, you have the pus-like stage, that's the pustular stage, where there is pus inside. And the last stage is the crust, where you see like a dry lesion. So within that period, so that's how the rash presents. And you can also differentiate it from other rash, like similar to it, like chicken pox. But now in chicken pox, yes, there is this fever, there is the rash, but the rash stops in the vesicular stage. Vesicle, so there is no pus in it. Then now in measles, now you see measles has the high fever, then the rash starts from the hairline and move to other parts of the body. So, but now in measles, now you also have other diagnostic features, like when you look at the mouth, you see the colic spots in it. So it's a whitish patch around the inside the mouth. So you could differentiate that from it. So with other rash again, but monkeypox has its own peculiar rash, how it progresses. So with that progression, and from the time of contact, we could really say this is monkeypox.
So how is it being diagnosed? What kind of test is being carried out?
Okay, there are different ways we can diagnose monkeypox. You could do a culture where they take data is scrapped from the lesion and culture it and isolate the organism. Then you could also do what's called the polymerase chain reaction assay, where they would diagnose that at the lab. Then you could also do some ELISA tests to also diagnose it.
Okay, so apart from what you've just mentioned, which is usually being carried out in the hospital, there's nothing you can do as an individual in the house to be able to, to diagnose if this is.
Okay, when we look at it, we look at it and said there are how we do a suspected case and a confirmed case. So in suspected case, you look at them with it has to come with this person probably have had contact with somebody who had this monkeypox, then also with fever, and the rash coming after the fever. Yes, 1 to 3 days after the fever. So it must follow that. Then with the progression of the rash. So that's where you can say this is a suspected case. Then the confirmed case is when there is a laboratory diagnosis of it. Yes.
Okay, so the mode of transmission.
Okay, now for transmission of monkeypox, I said earlier that is a zoonotic infection, meaning that
zoonotic.
So from animals to human. So the mode of infection comes in those animal to human transmission, human to human transmission, and also the object environmental to human transmission. So from animal to human transmission, it comes with especially those handling animals. So it could come from bites from the animal, could also come from scratch from the animal, could also be from eating undercooked of these animals,
particularly monkey or any other animal.
There are I think other animals have also been, like the Gambia giant rat and also squirrel. So they've also been identified to
be carriers of this.
So once there is that scratch, or also there is a contact with those the body fluid of those animal blood or body fluid of the animals, one can get it. Then from the human to human transmission could be from direct contact with person, and also indirect contact. Direct contact just from a broken skin, mucous membrane. Then also these organisms could also be seen around fluid from the
like the pulse when it's broken.
When it's broken.
Okay.
So once there is even a broken skin, it could be visible or invisible crack on the skin. So once it gets in contact, one could also
okay, so if it just touches my skin now, as in just touch the skin, not that it went inside.
If there is a cut, whether it is visible
or not,
one can contract the disease.
Wow.
Then also one can also get it from fomites, body clothes, use of other
has been established long ago, many decades, I'd say. Why haven't there been some form of immunization or something to prevent it? And then I know it's your line, so I think research should also have studied to see that, okay, maybe as it occurs, the gap between when it faces out and reoccurs could be 10 years, 15 years, and then something could be done about it, you know.
Okay, there are immunization vaccines towards that.
Okay.
But you know, when you look at these vaccines, it's not just for everybody. It's not recommended. Bracket, they have the highest number of cases. I think what I think that this could be as a result of these ones are the ones who go out, the hunters, then the risky behaviors and everything. So probably this could be the reason for the
age.
Yes.
Okay.
But for sex, there is no sex difference. Anybody who gets in contact with it could be. And again, one thing also we're seeing now is that those also who are immunocompromised, like those HIV patients, yes, because of their low immune system, so they are also at risk of monkeypox or mpox rather.
Mpox. And I'm wondering why are you just shortening the name
to make it sound milder? Why the change of name from monkeypox to mpox?
And just
to this virus. So, but now when we look at them, we'll start with health education, like what we need to inform the public what the disease is, the mode of transmission, and what. And thanks to ABN TV for doing this to inform the general public about the mpox. And also we'd go back to hygiene. Hygiene, you cannot play it downplay it. So you need to personal hygiene, cleanliness. It's one of those things that you can do to prevent it. Then general sanitation, environmental sanitation, that the rat breeds around, to clear all the grasses everywhere, to take away the breeding places, and also to vaccinate animals. So we must vaccinate most of our animals, the monkeys and the rest. And
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mamas and papas, I am Jimmy. You can call me the Entertainer.
My name is Essie Odometa. I am an actor and a film producer.
My name is Saviku Vala. Hi. My name is Julius the Genius. I would give a shout out to ADBN.
Big shout out to ADBN TV.
You're watching ADBN.
And you are watching.
Keep watching ADBN TV.
And this is ADBN TV.
And this is a shout out to ADBN TV. Keep watching, don't switch the dial.
Shout out to ADBN. Keep watching, love.
And you are watching ADBN TV.
Shout out to ADBN TV. I've got one thing for you. Make sure you keep watching ADBN TV.
And shout out to ADBN TV.
Shout out to ADBN.
All right, thank you for being there. So we are still here trying to create awareness about mpox, monkeypox, whichever one. Okay, so can you address some of the misconceptions of myth, if there are any out there?
Okay, like every disease, there are usually what some persons think, and these are especially things I read online and also watch about people. When WHO declared monkeypox as a disease of public health emergency of international concern, so most persons were saying that, especially for the West African region, it's not supposed to be so because of the strain in the West African region. It's mild, and again it could be self-limiting, and I think that's what they're looking at. So it's mouth self-limiting and the rest, and also rolling out of the vaccine. Still the misconception of different ideas people have, especially when monkeypox virus run. It's the one that causes severe illnesses, while the monkeypox virus 2 causes the mild illnesses. Yes.
All right. So, what do you think? Since it's a public, whatever. I've forgotten the word to use.
Community health.
Yeah, exactly.
Issue.
So when somebody suspects they have, mpox, or they think they've been exposed to mpox, what should the person do?
Okay, now for mpox, what somebody should do is, first of all, it's to report the case. You can get to the hospital for confirmation of that, and NCDC, I think their hotline, it's available where one can call to report, and once they call those numbers, then they are toll-free numbers, so they will get those around wherever the person is around, that they will come and pick them and also assess. And so one thing about mpox is that depending if the distance from the house to the healthcare center, and also when it is mild, it can be even managed at home. So yes, it could be managed at home. So, but what are those things that one can do is just to isolate the person, and also to prevent contact. That if there are plenty persons in the house, only one person should interface with the person. Then the clothing of the person could be washed with detergent and hot water. Even the utensil the person uses to eat, you could wash them with hot water also. Then limit visitors, if possible no visitors at the moment, till when the person is completely free from the disease, and also no pets. So yes, there should be no pets around. So with that, it could be then wash the hand with soap and water, and also clean the environment, disinfect the environment. So that could also help to protect the people around. And then once anybody come in contact with anybody that has been diagnosed or been suspected to have mpox, if we get to know, we do what's called the contact tracing by following up those people, those who especially who have the first line direct contact with the person and subsequent other persons. So just get to follow them and also watch them and see if they will develop the disease. If they don't develop the illness after 3 weeks, then there's no need for that, because the incubation period, it's between 5 to 21 days.
So the recovery period during treatment,
it takes, I think, for the rush for it to go and the person become non-infected, it's I think about 20 days. So from when the rush starts, because by the time all those rushes are there, the person can also infect others. So when it gets to that cross state where it is dry, so that's where the person may not be able to transmit the disease.
All right. So, from that to 2017, you mentioned that this was first, and now, do you see any difference, like in technology, the vaccine? Has there been any improvement in the treatment?
Yes, research is something ongoing. It's every day, and when we're looking at treatment, development of medication, even vaccine, it doesn't just take overnight. It has to go through processes and to ensure that it is safe. Yes, there are advances in it. There is vaccination for it, so there are advances towards that.
Okay. So generally, honestly, this monkeypox thing, if you ask me, I'm just imagining having had the outbreak in Nigeria, and you said in Akwa Ibom we have up to 4 cases. Four. Okay, yes. So it's also alarming in Akwa Ibom. Okay, fine. But for the 4 cases, have they been contact tracing? so as to ensure that
most persons most persons feel that don't do so much, but in the public health space, both nationally and state-wise, even in the local government villages, there are what we carry out surveillance every day. So we have the different kinds of diseases we look after on a daily basis, both even the one we do an active surveillance and even the one we do a passive surveillance. So once there is, you'll see the state disease surveillance officer will go in their different locations, both at the local government where it is, to ensure that they go down to see all those who had contact with the person. So contact tracing, it's ongoing. It's not just for monkeypox, but for all other diseases.
So for this particular monkeypox now, with these 4 persons, is there anything in particular, something common among them that we could say, okay, probably someone from this place or someone from this region? Is there anything?
Because how could this have been for here? Are they people? Are they adults? Are they children?
Yes, they are adults.
They're adults.
Yes, with
people who probably had traveled.
Yes, it could have been from travels. It could also be those hunting. Could also be so many factors would have resulted to that. So, but people, since we said you cannot restrict movement, so people will always move.
Undercooked. I'm worried about those who patronize bushmeat, and to also think that squirrel is part of it, and
local delicacy.
These are things. But then I think at this point, like we are advocating, we should be able to encourage people to make sure they cook their food as part of whatever they are consuming should be well cooked. Yes.
All right, during the COVID-19, we all heard, we saw so many people who come down with these fevers, and then, they do some concoction in the house, and they tell you these things work. When they begin to take them like fruit, vegetable, they tell you these things work. So, have you seen anyone for mpox? Like, are people indulging in, locally made kind of treatments?
You cannot rule that out from people doing local treatment for mpox, because especially even in the urban centers, once they just start, like rash there, they just like, it's normal rash, and start rubbing so many things, and when it refuses to go, some will just think, that it could be any other thing apart from mpox. Some could even attribute it to spiritual causes.
Exactly, I was going to come to that.
So we cannot take this away. Religion and culture play a role in our health-seeking behavior. So, and again, let me not say most, let me try to be on the milder side. Some persons have a poor seeking health behavior, that when they have health issues, they try other things and go to other places before even contacting the expert. So it's when they failed, every other person have failed them, that's when they come in. And sometimes it could also be dangerous. To measles, it could be rash, but now they have their own characteristics. So like the chicken pox. So chicken pox will have there's fever in chicken pox, there's itching in chicken pox, and also the rash itself. Yes, it's a vesicular rash, but it's not a pustular rash. So you now see that there. Why for measles, again, with the way it spread from the hairline and spread to other parts of the body. Yes, so and the fever is very high, and there are other things that follows measles: the cough, the catarrh, the redness of the eyes, and also if you look into the mouth, you see the colic spots. So with that, you could be able to differentiate. But I tell people that it's better to get to any of the health facility. Let them tell you that this rash is not monkeypox, it's not measles, it's not chicken pox, it could just be an allergy. So it's better to have that than assume.
All right. So I know we're talking about mpox. Before we call it a wrap on this show, recently we've been hearing news of people slump and die. It's becoming so. A few days ago, we got this news of a colleague who was just dancing in the church, my husband's colleague, just dancing in the church, and the next thing he just fell. And people thought it was, part of the celebration and everything, but they saw he was motionless. And before they could take him to the hospital, he was pronounced dead. And I've been hearing, even on social media, you hear people slump and die. So, as a doctor, what exactly is going on? Is it something common? Should we be worried?
Yes, I said earlier that our health-seeking behavior is very poor. That when you ask someone, when last did you check your blood pressure? If I may ask you now, when last did you check your blood pressure?
Please don't keep me on, don't put me on the spot. Don't put me on the spot.
Yes,
yeah, but I know we have that part.
Yes,
culture.
so most of the times, like hypertension, call it a silent killer. It doesn't give symptoms, and when it starts giving symptoms, then it's bad. It's wrong. So most person could have heart attack, a sudden cardiac infarction, and they are gone. Some could even have stroke. I've also heard of a pastor while preaching and slump and died. So, and I remember then one of my pastor friend had to, when he called me, was like, one of his colleagues was preaching that Sunday and died, and he came, was like, are you in the hospital? I was like, yes. He said, okay, I'm coming. And he came, checked everything, and after then he formed this habit of coming to him. He started coming every 3 months, that he wants to check his blood pressure and the rest. So it's better that to do this routine checkup, so that we know when there is a problem, if the person is hypertensive, if there are other problems, that it could be handled on time, not waiting for where the person will just have a sudden cardiac arrest.
But when we say sudden, aren't there supposed to be like little signs, probably being neglected, neglectable kind of sign, like you just stay and you begin to have pain in your chest and all that, but you just neglect them?
Yes.
Signs?
Yes, it could be. It all depends on the severity of the impact. Some persons start with chest pain. You feel this chest tightness and difficulty breathing and thereabout, and they'll just, if it relieves them, they just feel it's normal, there's nothing there, and they shake themselves up and go to their regular routine. And I remember there was somebody I was counseling some years back, and looking at the case notes and reviewing that, I've seen that there had been, the blood pressure had increased over, I think it took over like 2 years. She has been coming to the hospital, and they've been telling her. So when I told her that based on records and what I measured, that she's hypertensive, the woman started binding and rebuking. So it was something that I was like, oh, please calm down. Let me talk to you. So when we started talking, and sometimes she thought I was the devil incarnate trying to tell her. So she was like, that is not what the Bible says about her. So by the time I also made her to understand that even me too, that same Bible you read, I also read that very well. I also believe that. But one thing that God has given us wisdom is that we should be able to take care of ourselves, and there are remedies to that. And after talking to her, she accepted, and now she's doing well. All the other symptoms she came with, that it's associated with the high blood pressure, I think subsided.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Jacob. Would you want to give us a closing remark? Just 1 minute.
All right.
On mpox.
Yes. So mpox is real, and it's a global concern currently, and what we are saying that everybody should know about it, read about it, and take preventive measures, especially those who are at risk. You should stop risky behavior, especially those with a multiple sexual partner and men having sex with men and the rest. So there are vaccinations, you could go for that, and also take preventive measures by hygiene, environmental sanitation, and also cook all meat, well cooked meat, and do the normal practice, wash your hands with soap and running water. With that, we'll stay healthy and continue with our normal routines.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Promise Jacob. Okay, so Eddie, we have to run along.
Yeah.
All right, so
and like I said, I'm sure you have been well educated.
Of course. That is what we do here, create awareness.